Good morning, children. Welcome back. We are continuing the chapter Cell, the basic unit of life. We have already studied the structure of endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, then lysosomes. Now we are coming to the next organelle, vacuole, mitochondria, and plastids. We are going to study the structure of vacuole, mitochondria, and plastids. You know, vacuoles are spherical structure or vesiculated structure. Vesiculated structure filled with water, then cell sap, and also various types of food and waste materials inside the plant cell. So plant cells contain very big sized vacuole. Plant cell occupy a large sized vacuole at the center, pushing the nucleus to one side. Suppose this is a plant cell. In this plant cell, the nucleus is pushed to one side because of a large vacuole. 90% of the cellular volume is filled by the vacuole. So vacuoles are very large in size in the plant cell, whereas in animal cells they are generally absent, but if present they are very small. So what are vacuoles? Vacuoles are vesiculated structure filled with water, cell sap, and various food materials, including food and waste material as well. So in plant cell there is a large sized vacuole at the center which pushes the nucleus to one side. In animal cell, they are very small or absent. Usually the vacuoles are covered by a single membrane called tonoplast. Tonoplast. Single membrane covering the vacuole is called tonoplast, and this tonoplast can allow the materials including water from entering into the vacuole from the cell, cytoplasm. From the cytoplasm, water and various food substances or even waste materials can also enter into the vacuole by the process of diffusion and osmosis. You know, diffusion and osmosis are the passive transporting mechanisms in plants as well as in animal cells. Here, tonoplast allows it's just like a semi-permeable membrane. So tonoplast allow the molecules to enter into the vacuoles and get filled in the vacuoles. So vacuole get enlarged as it fills and become very swollen and turgid in plant cells, so that it occupies most of the part of the cell. Now, vacuoles are important in maintaining the turgidity of the cell. Vacuoles are very important in maintaining the turgidity of the cell. So turgidity and the rigidness of the plant cell is also performed or due to the vacuoles. Now, there are different types of vacuoles we can observe in organisms. For example, contractile vacuoles. Contractile vacuoles are seen in paramecium. Whereas food vacuole or respiratory vacuole, food or respiratory vacuoles are seen in amoeba, then many other organisms. So contractile vacuoles are found mainly in paramecium like protozoans, whereas in amoeba, you can see the food vacuole. They are excretory in function. So there are different aspects of this vacuole. So once again, what is vacuole? Vacuoles are vesiculated structure. Vesicle containing water, cell sap, and food and other waste materials. In plant cell, there is a large vacuole which occupies the center, pushing the nucleus aside. The membrane covering, single membranous covering around the vacuole is called tonoplast, which permit the materials to enter in and out of the tonoplast, the vacuole. Now there are different types of vacuoles such as excretory vacuole, contractile vacuole and food vacuoles, which are found in different organisms. Now the next organelle is mitochondria. Mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell. Everybody knows about it. Powerhouse of the cell. Mitochondria is called the powerhouse of the cell because they release energy from the cell. They release and store energy. They release, store, and they store energy in the form of ATP. They release and store energy in the form of ATP. What is the full form of ATP? Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine triphosphate. So powerhouse of the cell is the mitochondria because they release energy and store energy in ATP. You know, structurally mitochondria is an overall spherical organelle. It is double membrane covered organelle. Double membrane covered organelle. The inner membrane has many infoldings. The inner membrane has many infoldings. These infoldings are called cristae. So, what are infoldings? Infoldings are called cristae, which increases the surface area of the inner membrane. The cristae increases the surface area of the inner membrane. Why there is need of increasing the surface area of the cristae? Cristae increases the surface area because cristae are the sites of, in particularly inner membranes are the sites of oxidation of food particles, oxidation of various nutrients. So oxidation results in the breakdown of the nutrients aerobically. Aerobic breakdown or aerobic oxidation of nutrients takes place on the inner membrane of mitochondria. Hence, the inner membranes are enfolded to increase the surface area so that more energy, more food molecules can be oxidized and release energy. This energy is stored in ATP. So ATP production is associated with cristae. ATP production is associated with the cristae. So these are the reasons why the inner membrane cristae is enfolded and increase the surface area so that more ATP can be produced. So in order to produce ATP, there are some thing is required. For example, enzymes, ribosomes, RNA, many proteins. Everything is present inside the inside the inner membrane. So we can say inner membrane contain a fluid that is called the matrix fluid. Matrix. Okay? Matrix. As I told you, matrix is the living fluid, and this matrix is filled with the ATP, enzymes, ribosome, RNA, protein. So one more point is required here. The mitochondria is one of the organelle which contain DNA on their own. This DNA is called the extra chromosomal DNA, extra nuclear DNA. So you can understand that plastids and mitochondria are the only two organelles which contain DNA on their own. So they are semi-autonomous organelle. Why they are called semi-autonomous organelle? Because they can use this DNA for their multiplication on their own without the help of any other mechanism, like any other substances from outside. They can multiply on their own and they can synthesize protein on their own. Understand? So the DNA is called DNA is the extra chromosomal DNA. The DNA found outside the nucleus is called extra chromosomal DNA. So what are the two organelles in which extra chromosomal DNA is present? Mitochondria as well as plastids. These are the two organelles which contain extra chromosomal DNA. What is the advantages having extra chromosomal DNA? They can be semi-autonomous so that they can synthesize their own proteins and they can divide on their own. So they are called semi-autonomous organelles. So mitochondria, you have already seen, adenosine triphosphate is the energy currency of the cell. You know, energy currency, the ATP can store energy as and when the energy is formed in mitochondria, and it is stored in the ATP. So ATP will remain in the cell whenever the cell need energy for various metabolic activities, and whenever we need energy for our work and movements, the ATP break off and releases energy. So ATP is called energy currency of the cell. Powerhouse of the cell is mitochondria, where in mitochondria ATP is formed in crystal. So what is having the advantage of infoldings in the inner membrane of mitochondria? Yes, inner membrane is infolded to increase the surface area so that it can increase the rate of oxidation of food and release more energy. At the same time, they can also synthesize more ATP. So mitochondria is present in many active cells like sperms of women. More mitochondria is there. Then vigorously moving animals like cheetah, leopard, then tiger, all these animals, even human being, all animals have a number of mitochondria more in than other organelles, and also than in plant cells. So we can understand that mitochondria is very, very important organelle, and it is very essential and vital for survival. Now we are coming to the plastids. You might have studied introductory points about plastids in lower classes. What are plastids? Plastids are organelles found in plant cells only. They are totally absent in animal cells. Plant cells as well as certain other organisms, algae, contain plastids. The euglenoid is the only protozoa. Euglenoids, they belong to animal group, in a unicellular protozoa, euglenoid, contain these plastids. That's why euglenoids are both plant-like and animal-like organism. Plant-like as well as animal-like organism. Euglena, only unicellular protozoa. Now, what are plastids? Plastids are organelles present in plant cells. Now, there are different types of plastids. Plastids can be categorized into three types. Chromoplastids, chloroplastids, and leucoplastids. As the name indicates, chromoplastids contain various coloring pigments like orange color carotene, yellow color xanthophyll. So carotenoids and xanthophylls are the most common type of pigments present in the chromoplast. Chromoplasts are varying coloring plastids. They are found in plants. Plants get different colors because of the chromoplast. They are carotenoids, xanthophyll. There are many more. The brown pigment in algae is called, you can see, pheophycin. Okay? Red pigment is erythrophycin. So there are many pigments present in the chromoplast. These are universally found in both plant cells as well as the cells in many other organisms such as algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, etc. So chromoplasts are varied coloring plastids. They provide different colors to them. Mainly two categories, carotenoid and xanthophyll. Now chloroplasts are green pigment bearing plastids. They are chlorophyll bearing. You have already studied and you know about it. Chlorophyll, green colored pigment bearing They are the most common type of plastids found in most of the. You know why the plants look green? Because of this chloroplast. Chloroplast emit they do not absorb and they reflect the green light. In the visible spectrum, 7 colors are there. The chloroplast being green in color reflect the green light, and that because of the reflection we look the chloroplast green in appearance. Okay, so chloroplast are green color bearing organelles. The plastic. Now leucoplast are colorless. Leucoplast colorless. Then what is the function of the leucoplast? Yes, leucoplast store various food materials, food, water, and many other waste material as well. Okay, food material and water. They may store various food items in plants. They may store various types of food items in plants. Oleoplast. Oleoplast store oil and fat. Aleuroplast. Aleuroplast. Aleuroplast store proteins. Amyloplast store starch like amylose. Amyloplast. These are the different types of plastids. In general, they store food materials of various kinds in plant body. Right? That's all about the plastids, and in the next section we will be discussing detail about the chloroplast. So, I hope you understood it. It is very simple and basic. Vacuole, then mitochondria, then plastids. Okay? Thank you.